All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Hood Church. Now, I had a misunderstanding in the last two episodes that I put out, the 3-minute one and the 1-minute one. There's a bit of confusion. That Ezekiel verse, when I went back and read it over, it seems to be talking about a king, right? But then it mentions that this king were selected to guard where God, I guess, lived in heaven, which lets us know once again maybe heaven is kind of corrupt as well. Just like earth, right? Because why would God need somebody to protect where he lived? He's God, right? So a lot of people think it's talking about Lucifer. So in this section, we're going to try to figure some things out. See what makes sense, what don't. As y'all know, we're not here to replace the Bible or be better than the Bible or nothing like that. We're not making no claims. We're not in competition with nobody. Well, I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just making new entertainment, and also for you to decide on your own. You know, we all grown. Everybody grown that watches my Hood Church videos. And so you can make your own decision. You know what I'm saying? There's some things in here that'll be probably 100% true, and there's some things that'll probably be not so true. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do in this episode is look at a couple of verses from the Bible that talks about some things that some people think it was talking about Lucifer, but some people think Lucifer is Satan. He's not. They're two different people. So I believe that Lucifer is the son of Satan. Satan is a dragon, right? So check this out. So Satan is described as a 7-headed red dragon, the devil. This is the devil, right? So in this image, it shows well, this one got 6 heads, but it's supposed to be 7 heads, right? A 7-headed red dragon walking, it said you were the anointed cherub who walked among the stones of fire. So, ain't too many people walking through no stones of fire. And I think we can all agree on that. So, if it was talking about a king back then, I think it's safe for us to agree that ain't no king finna be walking amongst the stones of fire unless he's not human or reptilian for that matter. But considering if this was in heaven, then yeah, you know, I guess it's possible. Because heaven has fire, we know that. Heaven has water, we know that. Heaven has light, we know that. It has thunder, lightning, water, fire, wind, everything we have here. Right? Now, here, let's take a look here. It says that you were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adored you. So, there's a time where it also was talking about precious stones. I can't really remember. I can't remember those verses. But it talks about, hold on, let me see this. You were anointed cherub who walked among the stones of fire. And this one, you were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adored you. So the stone was alive. But I don't know. So I might have got it mixed up. What I was trying to say in last night's video that I'm going to have to delete once I put this out, or I don't know, maybe leave it up, is that I thought that the Bible passage was describing Lucifer as being this colorful, colorful being that's filled with colors and lights and all of this. The reason why I say that, because if that was true, that the Bible was describing Lucifer as being colorful and bright and all of that, then, as you know, in this image, this would be Satan's left wing. This would be his right wing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you look at Satan here, you could clearly see that South America is all of his left wing. And you can see Antarctica is all of his right wing. Now, in case you're somebody new who just getting into this video, we'll try to go through it all in this video, so you don't be left out. And remember, there's his feet right there. His feet. You can even see his claws. His claws. You see his feet right here. His right feet. Alright. So, we're going to try to do a full video now. But, okay, so now that you understand that, and you can see where Antarctica is his right wing that has been chopped off in the war in heaven. And we're going to go back all over the war in heaven again. Don't worry. And you can see right here, South America is clearly his left wing. All of these mountains right here. Bone density. Right? And mountains here. And there. And there. All throughout these little, could be part of his skin because he's from heaven. Which means anything of heaven do not have normal skin like you and I. That's from earth. They have what's called like space rock material as their skin. And once you cut through enough of that rock, you then reach what can make them bleed. Their natural skin that makes them bleed. So I thought the Bible was describing Lucifer as being this beautiful, colorful, vibrant person. If that was the case, I was going to say they got it mixed up. It's not Lucifer is beautiful and all those colors. It was Satan. And this is Satan right wing. And the reason why I say that, because we're going to look at some real images of these mountains right here in South America. And you're going to see how beautiful it is. Right? So, like right here. You see? See these mountains in South America and a few spots in South America. And you got, look at that. These mountains naturally change these colors. It said that these people did not color them and do not color them. They naturally change colors like that. Now, if this is Satan left wing, and which we just showed y'all, look at all these colors this thing is changing. Which means, number one, he's still alive. Number two, reptiles change colors, especially lizards. Now, you probably will say, well, Antarctica ain't changing colors because, first of all, Antarctica is buried under miles of ice. The only colors there is blue and white. So, that symbolizes something. His wings probably so numb from all that ice. It probably numbed the blood, froze the blood in that part of the wing. So, of course, it's not going to change colors. But if it is some mountains in there that's this color, then you already know, straight up, why it's those colors. Because he's still alive. All right, now that we got that part understood, now we'll go back here where it says, you were the anointed cherub who walked among the stones of fire. Okay, stones of fire. Now, let's take a look at this right here got Proverbs in it, right at the top right here. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 28 says, can a man walk on hot coals without scorching his feet? The answer is no, he can't. Not if he's a man. He try and walk on them hot coals, his feet gonna get burnt like a, you know what? It's gonna get burnt, man, bad. And it's gonna hurt. So no, he cannot walk on hot coals without burning his feet. So who was walking on these hot stones then? Because Ezekiel 28:13 say you were in the garden of God. Every precious stone adored you. Okay. Now it says Ezekiel 28:14, you were the anointed as a guardian cherub. You walked among the fiery stones. So it had to be Satan right here they talking about. It had to be. Maybe God created Satan to be his pet or something. And also to guard, it says as a guardian. And he was supposed to be the angel that they think fell. And he ain't never fucking fall. Alright? And Lucifer wouldn't be this color. How do we know this? Because this is Satan. Satan, this is Satan. He supposed to have 7 heads, but in this one he got 6, but it's all good. Alright? But listen. So, Satan is a pure reptile. A pure dragon. And possibly the god of all reptiles. The reason why they exist, possibly. But Satan is a pure fire-breathing dragon. Or a reptile. Well, we don't know if he ever spitted fire. The Bible never said he spitted fire, but we'll go with that. He's a dragon, right? And Lucifer is a reptilian, a human dragon. There is a difference. This is Lucifer. And that's what he looked like. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Or whatever the hell they be saying. Where'd you get those eyes? Where'd you get those eyes? Now, it says here in Isaiah 14:12, how it says, how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Lucifer, son of the morning. It says, oh, you have fallen from heaven. No, my bad, sorry. How you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of morning. We know he didn't fall from no damn well. He didn't fall. And he wasn't that big. Right? He could have been that size. But we know he could have also been this size. Yeah, this size. Yeah, he could have literally been that big. Seriously, the same size as the Statue of Liberty could have, but, because you had the Nephilim. Then you had the giants. And considering the fact how big Satan is, all of South America is his left wing, and all of Antarctica is his right wing that been chopped off. That's pretty damn big. And from where his feet that I just showed y'all to his head, you know how big that is? And the reason why I say that, is because Lucifer, the reason why I said it is because Lucifer could have been our size, but even Jesus really wasn't our size when you think about it. Yahshua, you see some of his old clothes, shirts and stuff, they huge. They not the size for a normal person. You know what I mean? But, and the reason why I said that, because he was cast down. He didn't fall. He didn't fall. He was cast down. And how do we know this? Well, Revelation 12 talks about a war in heaven. Now we're going to read Revelation chapter 12, verse 1 through 9 real quick. All right. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. Okay? Clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Okay? All right. Now Revelation chapter 12, verse 2 now. And she being with a child, crying, travailing in birth, and in pain to be delivered. Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. All right. And another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon with seven heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail swept down a third part of the stars of the heavens above, casting his stars. Lucifer ain't fall no damn well. Lucifer ain't fall, but he might not been cast by Satan as well. And we're going to get into that. Now, either he was cast when Satan cast him here. Now, either he was cast when Satan cast him here. Or, remember, it says he created a third of the stars of the heavens above and cast them to this planet. So Lucifer was either one of these that was being cast to this planet. He was either one of these, or let's go back here. He was either one of them I just showed y'all that was being cast to this planet. Now we'll start Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of the heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So it's a little bit over 3 years. Now Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. His angels. His angels. And prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, was cast out into the earth. So we know he ain't deceived nobody. right? So first of all, we're gonna get into Satan didn't deceive nobody because he's too damn big. Because he's literally in the earth, like I just showed y'all. South America and Antarctica. We know his big ass ain't deceiving nobody. He too big. Who the hell he deceiving? Look at this big ass damn dragon. Who in the hell is he gonna deceive? Nobody. He too big. All of Antarctica is your right wing that been chopped off in the war in heaven. All of your left wing is all of South America. Who the hell you deceiving? Nobody. So once again, Revelation chapter 12 verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth. And we just saw him into the earth. Right? Revelation chapter 12 verse 10. And hold on. Revelation chapter 12 verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. They got kicked out with him. And that's how we know Lucifer didn't fall no damn well. He was cast out. Because Lucifer was riding with Satan. Because Satan is his father. So Lucifer fought with his father in heaven to try to defeat Michael and them. But he lost. So him and his father and them was kicked out. Lucifer was one of those stars Satan cast upon this planet that Revelations talked about. Yeah, so that's who Lucifer was. One of them stars who Satan cast upon this planet. Now he was either cast to this earth by Satan. He was either cast to this earth by Satan. Or he was cast to this earth with Satan. Or he was cast with him. He was cast out of heaven with him after the losing the war in heaven. The great dragon was cast out. Alright? So he was cast out. So that's how Lucifer get here. And that's what you hear all this talk about, all them fallen angels. The fallen angels, and they ain't want no damn fallen angels. They was cast angels. Who was cast to this planet and who was kicked out. Matter of fact, no, they was cast to this planet by Satan and by Heavenly Brother Michael. They ain't fall. They was cast out. In Isaiah 14:12, talking about how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. So if he's son of the morning, and then in the morning time come, if that's what they're talking about, unless they're talking about mourning mean death, and then your family mourning over your dead body, and you crying and shit because, you know, something done happened to you. Because we know he can't be son of the morning. Somebody lying there. He ain't Yahshua. So how he son of the morning? Unless the morning represents day. And the day is at war with the night. Because in the daytime there's secret ships that we can't see in the sky. that pull-ups in the sky and represent some kind of evil, and then at nighttime there's a whole different mothership that appears like the moon and the sun type shit. But excuse my language, but that's just crazy. So it says, how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. So we know the reptilians could have went in there and edited that and put that son of the morning. But if Lucifer was indeed cast here with the third of the stars that Satan cast upon this planet, then we know, no wonder why they call it son of the morning. Because we know Satan was still in heaven at least 3 years when he cast Lucifer here. So that's why they call him the son of the morning. And how we know Satan was still in heaven for 3 years? We'll start back at Revelations chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Right? Now, Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was supposed to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God, unto God, and to his throne. Now, we don't know which God they were talking about. How do we know this? Now watch this. Okay, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Feed her what? What was she eating? Whales? Because she had to be this huge ass woman. I mean, really big woman. And if she wasn't a really big woman, because Satan was going to devour her child, it couldn't have been a normal human-sized child. Hell no. Because Satan was cast out of heaven, and we clearly see that he is the size of all of South America, all of Antarctica, all of the South Georgia Sandwich Islands, and all of New Zealand put together, and that's not including his tail. So how big this woman had to be? She had to be massive. And even if she wasn't massive, right? They said she brought forth a man-child. Right? So dig this. If Michael went to war with Satan and whooped him up and kicked him out, why in the hell is this woman running from heaven to earth? Like earth can save her from this big ass dragon. How earth gonna save you from this massive man? Now granted, after Michael cast him down here, yeah, you straight now, because he hurt. He hurt bad. Michael done chopped off his wings, stabbed him and everything. Michael messed him up so bad, they still finding blood in Antarctica right now. And they called it Blood Falls. Because they don't seem to know where the blood coming from. But if you let the science tell you their version, they going to tell you the blood is falling because of some salt or something like that that's hitting the air and linking up with the water. And that's why they finding blood falling in Antarctica today as we speak. They don't understand that this war in heaven didn't happen too long ago. A couple thousand years ago, Michael cut him so deep the motherfucker still bleeding. And it ain't dawned on them yet that Antarctica is Satan's right wing. I mean, let's do the math. The Bible talked about a war in heaven with Michael and this great seven-headed red dragon named Satan, who lost the war and got kicked out of heaven. And you could clearly see that Antarctica is his right wing. And now they finding blood falling in Antarctica, and they don't know why. They had to come up with a scientific version as to why they think this blood is falling in Antarctica. Why they think it's falling. Why they think it's falling. Not why it's falling, but why they think. Why they think. And on top of that, they noticing that the rock that they standing on look like reptile skin. You know, how accurate can you fucking be? That's on point. So you know, if everything else in the Bible don't make sense, we know goddamn that Revelation chapter 12 verse 1 through 9 on point. Because Satan's still bleeding, and they wondering why the damn skin that they standing on look like dragon skin, look like skin from an alligator or something. That's because it is skin from an alligator or something, because it ain't an alligator, it's a damn dragon. And they wondering why they finding all kind of weird stuff. Why the patterns in the dirt look like dragon scale skin. Right? And they... What? Oh, but anyways... Oh, take my time. Oh, okay. And why having dragon scale? Sorry, y'all. The little flies telling me to take my time. And yeah, that's gonna sound crazy. Let me not put that in here. Holy shit. Oh shit. But my bad. Just had a little brief. Okay, we on 32 minutes. Damn. All right. So, and they can't seem to understand where this blood falling from. It started changing colors when the air hit it and stuff like that. You know, they're going to give you the scientific version off back. But they wondering why it look like dragon scales and shit like that and claws coming up out of the sand, you know? It have not dawned on them yet that this blood is falling is because this dragon was in a war in heaven in which he lost the war in heaven. And Michael showing his power, casting Satan out of heaven and literally into our earth. Into our earth. That's why the blood is falling in Antarctica. Because it is Satan's right wing that been chopped off in a war in heaven. And he was cast into the earth. And it talked about him having 7 heads. Well, this is head number 1. Head number 2. Head number 3. Head and head number 4. Right there. And we'll draw head number 4 over since it's so big. Head number 4. These are his horns. These are his nostrils. This is his eye. All right. You can see his whole head like this. This is his neck area that goes down. Huge dragon. right there in the water. You can even see the slit in his eyes. Right there. That slit in his eye. His right eye, to be exact. You can see his left horn, it's Cuba. His right horn, the Bahamas. His nose and mouth area. That's head number 4. Head number 5. Head number 6. And head number 7. Head number 7. Yeah. And he's not red anymore, of course, because he's been soaking in the water for 5,000 years since Michael cast him out into the earth. All right. So the Bible talks about Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. All right. Cast them to the earth. We're going back to the earth, and we're seeing some of the impact that it did, at least to the United States side. Well, check it out. When it hit right here, bang! It put a dragon right here in the Gulf of America. And he just waiting to awakening. He's just waiting for his time to awaken. And another one hit right here. Bang! And bang and bang. And then one hit right here in Canada. Bang! Which tells us this one crazy because the turtle tells us it was some kind of land hard shell turtle. Why do I say that? Nigga, because he ain't got the webs right here. You see what I'm saying? He got individual toes and turtle claws. Look at his claw. Look at this. This is his turtle toenail. This turtle feet goes like this. This is his whole entire feet. And when Satan cast those stars from the heavens above, bang, bang, hit it so hard, it knocked half of his shell off, which was Greenland. It knocked Greenland off. Knocked Greenland off, where Greenland was connected. Like that. And this may have been parts of his tail. But Greenland fits on the shell. Greenland was supposed to be located right here. What in the wind's... Hold on. Okay. We ain't going crazy now. Okay. So, it hit it hard. Boom, knocked Greenland off. Put a big old hole in the turtle shell. Right there. And for those of you who might be new, you don't know, the United States is a giant dead turtle. And Florida is the head of that giant dead turtle. All right? You got Lake Okeechobee is his left eye. Fort Myers is his right eye. Miami and Broward area is his mouth that has been ripped open. a couple more earthquakes, it may fall back in the sea. Who knows? But yeah, it's a giant dead turtle. It's dead. And you can see his mouth. He died with his mouth open. I also did some collage on that. If you want to check it out. See right here, I did a photo collage that's showing you Florida is a giant dead turtle, which makes me think it's a hard-shell turtle, but it's different. As y'all seen the back feet, Canada is the back feet of the turtle. Right? And you can see Florida is the head of the giant dead turtle. But the back feet of this goddamn turtle, he got feet like a land turtle. Because a sea turtle got feet like a pedal, like this, in the front and in the back. But this turtle may have had front legs like a pan, but back legs like a land turtle. What the hell is going on? Or maybe not. But you get my drift. It's a dead turtle. Just like Satan is indeed 100% a dragon. He is a dragon. And he's alive and well. Not well, but he's alive. All right. So now we're going to go into back to the verse. All right. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, a great red dragon. Oh no! And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with the child, cried, travailing in birth and in pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of the heavens, and did cast them to the earth. Right? And he did cast them to the earth. And all the way to 7, Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found in heaven anymore. Right? And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. They were cast out with him. Now Lucifer couldn't have failed. Either way he was cast out. Either he was cast out by Satan, or he was cast out with Satan. But he was cast out. Now, let's go back real quick. Now, Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. With him. Okay. Now, Revelations chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. They should feed her? What? She can't feed herself? Is she a real woman? What is it? Sound like they talking about feeding a snake or some damn body. You know, we should feed her there. She should feed herself, right? But anyway, so Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Now, God ain't even caught up Jesus when he was getting killed, but he caught up this child to be with him on his throne. By the way, this is before Satan was cast out. So it could have been Satan pulling this child up, and that child could have been no other than the man himself. And that same child, when they was cast to our planet, they was being cast to our planet, they was supposed to rule all nations with a rod of iron, a sword. They were supposed to rule all nations with a rod of iron when they got here. So, and when they got here, the war popped off. They started killing some of our people. And some of our people started killing them back. Yeah. It got crazy. You know, they was cast here. And the war happened on earth as is in heaven. And at some point, the war kicking off, they killing some of our people inside, and some of our people were killing some of them. As the war gets really, really brutal on both sides. You know what I'm saying? As the war continued to get more brutal, things started changing. And that's when we became slavery. That's when slavery began. They lied about everything else. Because they are human dragons. This is when they captured us and put us in slavery. And they had us in slavery so long, you know, when they caught Eve in the garden. That's when slavery started. You know, they slid up on Eve, scared the shit out of Eve in the garden. She's like, what the fuck? You know, terrified her. Meanwhile, now the war just popped off on earth. You know, Eve was in the garden trying to pick some fruits and vegetables or whatever she was doing. And she might have bit the fruit. And when she became naked, the serpent looked at her, which is a dragon. The serpent looked at her and saw, damn, girl. Hey, man, Eve, check this out, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look here. You know what I'm saying? Them boys slid up on her. Scared the shit out of Eve. He didn't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. And you know they had to calm her down. Hey, look here, man. You know what I'm saying? Eve, look. We ain't gonna hurt you or nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just want to bust these nuts all off in you. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So either you gonna let us nut all off in you real quick, or you gonna end up like your family. You know what I'm saying? So she had a decision to make. You know, she like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think about it. And they making it sound good, whatever the deal is, because you know, serpents, the reptilians, all about deals. They all about fucking deals. To this day, they love a good deal, man. So, you know, they were willing to make a deal with Eve. You know, they just want to bust nuts all off in her real good. If she let them bust them nuts all off in her, you know what I'm saying, it was like, they were going to be straight. But you know they were going to lie. They were lying. Because they serpents. You can't trust them. Yeah, they probably nutted all off in the real good, but that was the end of the saga. You know what I'm saying? That was it. But they making it sound good. But at some point, she must have refused them. And when she refused them, things got physical. You know what I'm saying? And I told you we just wanted to bust nuts all off in you, man. You should let us nut all off in you. You know what I'm saying? She probably like, I don't want you nutting all off in me. I don't want that curse. I'm straight, serpent. I don't want you busting nuts in me. I'm straight. I do not want to share your curse with you. And he probably grabbed, I ain't got fucking time for this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he probably said. He done grabbed up. Jeepers, creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers. Where'd you get those eyes? And speaking of eyes, these different types of reptilians, we're gonna get into that too. But we'll get in a little depth in that. Hopefully we have enough time. But yeah, so Eve, that was the end of the saga for her. She was never heard of again. According to Bible passages, her last scene was the garden and them kids. So they could have snatched her up and used her for her body, to have sex with her, rape her over and over again till they figure out the clue, the cures and all the medicines and stuff that they needed for whatever reasons they needed them for. Which, here's a little diagram that kind of symbolizes something similar to it. And it's telling you like how the serpent transformed and stopped itself from having tails and basically wings and horns and all that stuff to host their body for creation. That's where they call Eve slipping at, especially if she ate that apple and got naked. And they seen her naked, you know. But at some point they slid up on her, they caught her, and that was the last everybody ever heard of her. You know. And after that, there were real beings that was real, that the reptilians was real. This stuff was Bible-y documented. My bad about that guy. I didn't mean to put but you know, I mean, real reptilians. Now, can reptilians be good? Yeah. Ain't no different from having a pet snake. Just a reptilian are way more intelligent than a snake. They was considered to be the most smartest out of any animal in the field, anything in the field. All right. Now back to this Bible verse. And it says, Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was supposed to rule all nations with a rod of iron. With a rod of iron, as y'all just seen. Now, if this lady brought forth a man-child, I mean a child that kind of looked like a man. So, far as we know, Satan could have raped her in heaven. Or she could have did something she ain't had no business doing. And maybe God did give her the wings of a great eagle. But what if God didn't, if she was actually cast out with the dragon and all of them? For having sex with it or for doing something with it in heaven that she ain't had no business doing. And that done got her little behind pregnant being hot. Letting Satan nut all off in her or whatever. And then she go and give birth to a man-child. She being grown. And then she done go and give birth to a man-child. If indeed that's what a man-child is. And so the reptilians we had today, they don't look like that. You know. They don't have the horns anymore. Nor the tail. They don't look nothing like what they used to look like. Nothing. These are more typical reptilians. You know, I mean, I keep forgetting to delete the images. But for those newcomers, this is what your typical reptilian would look like in today's world. You know, the sweet little girl, she probably, innocent or whatever, but they can be really good people. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a gamble you'll have to take whenever you come in contact with reptilians, or to try to be friends with reptilians. You could be great friends with them. But because they are reptilians, there'll come a point of time in their life to where they're going to want to kill something. They cannot help it. That's just their part of, who they are, what they are. You know what I'm saying? But they don't look like this anymore. They came a long way. They look more like this, like real humans, but with slit in their eyes and stuff. Something like this, like your modern day look straight up human, but they still have the eyes. The reptilian eyes. These are eyes of a real lizard, and this is eyes of a reptilian. They no longer look like this. They want you to think they look like this. No, they look just as human as you and I, because they was created to look that way. You know what I'm saying? They were created to look more human-like. So, this one says not all reptilians are the same. We know that. They're not the same physically, nor do they look the same. There are all kinds of reptilians. Just like there's all kinds of reptiles. Well, there's not all kinds. There's a few different kinds of reptilians. Probably 4 to be at best. Maybe 4. As you can see, the reptilians on the left don't look nothing like the reptiles on the right. But they both got something in common. The reptilians on the left love the land of sun. And the reptiles on the right love the land of sun as well. For the reptiles, they call it basking. For the reptilians, they call it sunbathing or suntanning. Another difference is the reptiles tend to lay on their stomach in the sun. Makes them feel good. The reptilians seem to lay on their back in the sun. It also makes them feel good. Look. They love every minute of it. It makes them feel good. It's a huge part of what they do. It's a huge part of who they are. They lay in the sun and they love it. It makes them feel great. Here's another diagram of what they would supposedly look like, what they used to look like. And the Alpha Draconians are the ones responsible for them not looking like this at all. But if you can see, they already had reptilians that look almost like human, but they just didn't have the full human features. But yeah, as you can see here, the grays, they telling you like they all reptiles, all human reptiles. But today's world, they don't look nothing like that. The slavery that they had us in during slavery, and long before that kind of slavery happened, they had black people in cages for test studies. And, so they didn't have to look like this anymore. And they pulled it off. They no longer look anything like any of them. They completely changed. This is what they now would look like. These are like some of the eyes of some of what they would look like. You know what I'm saying? Just eyes. This is some of what they look like. Even the little baby, look. See the eyes? He kept his reptile eyes. Well, he's a pure white person, so he definitely gonna be a reptilian when he get older. Definitely. Yeah. See, they keep all of the eyes. These are what typical reptilians would look like in today's world. You see? This is a black woman, and even she got reptile eyes. Now, this is the land in Antarctica that talks about reptile skin. The ground looked like reptile skin, and they can't figure out why. They think it's just rocks. They don't understand that the space rocks, or the rock that they're standing on, all of this rock is his skin. You know, space rock is his skin. And the dust, the dirt from it is basically how he shed his skin, being that he's so big of a reptile. He's not going to shed skin because he's out from outer space, and then the shit come out like exactly how it looks. No. The way he sheds skin, because he's from outer space, is by creating like dirt, dust or something. But yeah, that's his skin. And that's them finding scales like, oh shit, oh yeah, we're gonna have to hurry up. And that's why they said the skin, all this look like skin in Antarctica to them. All of it look like skin, like rock, because it is skin. It's dragon skin, you know. And that's them making a diagram to show you how the rock in certain places, and even in New Zealand, kind of looks like dragon skin. And the Bible tells you this dragon fought in the war in heaven and he was kicked out. And they saying that it looked like dragon skin, all of this. Well, let's see, genius. It looks like dragon skin. The Bible says he was in a war in heaven. He was cast out. And you're finding blood falls. I mean, you know. You know, they see it look like skin, but they don't have a clue as to why it really look like skin. Or to why it really is skin. You know? But so these are other places that look like dragon skin or scales. These are the Sandwich Island. It's supposed to be his nose. His nostrils. These are close-up images of him. And as you know, this colorful rock in South America could be some of Satan. Could be Satan's left wing. That's why they change colors on their own like that. All that brightness. And let me see. And here it tells you how smart the serpents are. It said, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. He's very, very, very smart. There's another image depicting him casting his stars to our planet. And his tail swept down a third of the stars of the heavens and cast them to the earth. And that's what Lucifer is. He's one of the cast stars. He was either cast by Satan or by Michael when he got beat up and kicked out. But he was cast out. Anyways, here's another clip of a black baby with reptilian eyes. You know what I'm saying? I never saw that before. Or it could not be. Maybe, I don't know. But somebody in the family must have had sex with a white person at some point, I guess. But, I mean, I don't know. Cute eyes, but, you know, they could be. I don't think gorilla got eyes like that. And here's another, what appears to be black baby. But yeah, so they no longer look like this anymore. They're able to camouflage pretty good. They look just as human as you and I. Maybe some that still, like they said, live underground. They may still look exactly like that. But as far as we know, No. Also, did a comparison here so you could see the comparison of Satan's other head that's like 90 miles off the coast of South Florida versus a fictional dragon head. So if you could see, like where I showed you where his mouth was and then his left horn, his right horn. Look at this dragon mouth. His left horn, his right horn. You see? It's the same thing. If you take a look at this dragon head, you can see his little slit in his eye. And you take a look at this dragon head and you see his slit in his eye. Which means yeah, he's big. Also, he'll be awakening because they telling you some bullshit about some tectonic plates that's moving around. Like they don't see that big ass dragon in the Gulf of Mexico or America, whatever one you want to call it. That's right here. And they seen all these earthquakes all around the world. And they don't know that all of South America is Satan's left wing. That's just his left wing. You know. And they wondering why there's earthquakes all up and down here. Movement all up and down here. And even all along here. You know. And also, yeah, see, they look more human, but just like your typical reptilian, what they look like today. They came a long ways though. They don't look nothing like what they used to look like. This would be nice. The Reptilian Bible. Damn, that'd be nice to read. They probably got some truth bombs in there, boy. We need to find a way to get this. You know. I can't order it. The fucking reptilians and see that shit coming in the mail, they'll fuck around and do some shit to it before I get a chance to get a hold to it. But we need to have some brothers and sisters out there, somebody that can order this, and read it and see what's up with it, and then put it out there. These are what your typical reptilians look like today. They don't look like what they want you to look around for. No. When you go to the beach, you see a bunch of people laying on the ground. That's not normal behavior. That's what lizards do. That's why they bask in the sun like that. Sunbathe. That's why they do that. Because that's what lizards do. That's what reptiles do. So, they are human reptiles. Reptilians. But so right here is basically giving you a little a brochure of why lizards sunbathes and sunbath. It says, basically giving you a little brief history on lizards, why they lay in the sun, why they have to go to the sun to get to basically survive. Or maybe they're not supposed to be on this planet either, so shit, who knows? I don't know. But we know Satan casted a third of his stars to this planet. And we know, like I said, the war broke out in heaven after he cast his stars to the planet. Before Eve got caught slipping in the garden, her and Adam had to be like, the fuck going on up there? And all of their kids they had together. Like, it's war happening in heaven. What? They probably heard loud thundering and bloom, 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 all kind of movement and shit. Stuff falling from heaven, from the heavens above. Excuse me, y'all. And they probably thinking, what the hell going on up there? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, it probably was a horrifying time for them. Now we finna get into something a little bit deeper because I got 11 more minutes left, and we did an hour and 9. Hopefully the whole hour and 9 saved and it didn't break up into pieces or whatever. So if we still recording, let's go over that real quick and I'm gonna show you. So the war in heaven, y'all already know the Bible. It talks about he was kicked out. And remember I just showed y'all that Florida is a giant dead turtle and all that, right? Okay, so when Satan was casting his stars to our planet, right? When his stars hit, as you can see, when he was casting his stars to our planet, and when some of them hit, when the damage it left, when one of his stars hit, boom, right here, this dragon that he cast right here, boom, it hit so hard it knocked a hole in the Gulf of America, right? And then if we look closely, back then they was real active. So if you look closely, you can see houses buried down there in the bottom of the Gulf. And then if you look even closer, you would notice that an angel came out of nowhere. We finna see if we can see her. And she was protecting somebody on this island. Wait a minute. That's not it. That's not the island. Knock chunks off down here. Let me see. Is this the island? We know it was an angel. And she should be right over here. Oh no, that's not it. But look, these are some of the houses that the people had. I'm waiting on it to clear up. That you could see that's still down there in the bottom of the sea. Look at that. Homes that people was living in when Satan cast his stars upon this planet, sending them into the sea. Real houses and shit. Still down there in the bottom as we speak. But the angel must be trying to save one of them. And so, let's see what little island we on. Let's try. Let's try this one. Is it this one? Is it this one? Pieces. Hold on. Wait, might have not been that. Well, yeah. Wait, let's go back here real quick because I see another stretch. Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Right here. So, I think this is her. Yep. Look. And Google caught that shit, y'all. Google caught that shit. Google caught this angel, this black woman look like she got an afro. Look at this. Look at that shit. This big ass lady, you can see her. So look. You can see she got an afro. You can see her titty area, which proves she a woman. And she letting off some serious power. A beam of light. Let's look at her a little bit closer. Look. Look at her chest area. You see she got titties. Look. Look at her. Look how tall she is. Damn. And she letting off this beam of light. And this beam of light is beaming all the way on something over. Where that damn beam? Right here. So when Satan cast his stars from the heavens above, boom, it hit the Gulf of America so damn hard. Bang! Broke up the houses into pieces and everywhere, and looked like something right here or somebody got seriously hurt when that star fell out the sky. Boom! Creating a big bang or whatever you want to call it. Somebody is hurt down there, something, or this might have been another beast that Satan cast from the heavens above so hard that nigga even Google caught it. And this thing was so dangerous or something, or either somebody that got hurt, that this angel had to come from the heavens above and issue a serious beam of power. Look at that. Look at that power she's delivering. And there's somebody behind her right here that's helping her. Look at that power. And Google caught that. Google caught that. Nigga, Google Earth. Right in the bottom down there. Right where this dragon had done hit. Right down there. And he's going to awaken soon. Might not be in our lifetime, or it might be in our lifetime. And so is he. Now, I just wanted to cover that. I'm going to end this video. And before I end it, y'all, I want to show y'all, I ran it through some filters to show y'all what Satan looked like using filters. And as you can see him sitting right there. Both his heads. Head number 1. Head number 2 that has been bruised. And some skin that's right here. Real skin. And when you follow that skin, it takes you to, boom, the 2 heads off the coast of Africa. Big ass dragon heads. You can see them sitting down there. And the bottom down there. Chilling. It looked like some point they was eating the turtle or something before they just decided to be petrified. I don't know. But they right off the coast down there. And that's why the world getting all these earthquakes. And then you got Leviathan still down there in the abyss. She could be bumping up the stuff that will make a whole country rumble. Eventually, these turtle shells are going to crack open. They're not going to be strong enough, and they're going to sink to the bottom of the sea. It ain't going to be no more land left. Or the dragons might wake up before then and then destroy the land and everybody on the lands. Yeah. And that's the Bible verses they probably took out of the Bible. They know what's coming. They're lying. They have been lying to us for a long time. They know exactly probably when the world going to end. They know what's going to come from the sky and what's going to come from the bottom. There's going to be attacks coming from the bottom of the ocean because of these dragons that's in the ocean. And there's going to be attacks coming from the sky. The Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Brothers is going to release huge meteorites. Nuclear bombs that's going to fuck this planet all the way up. Ain't going to be nothing man can do to stop it. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing men can do to stop it, or anybody else can do to stop it. This time, when the Heavenly Father destroys Earth with his nuclear bombs. And then our brother Wormwood is going to destroy the seas. It's pretty much going to be a wrap. We might witness it. But anyways, if you've enjoyed this episode of Hood Church, that's what's up. That's what's up. You know, thanks for watching or whatever. If you feel like you learned something, I kind of speeded through it. I was supposed to take my time for some reason. But there'll be soon, I will make a video all the way through with everything we just watched in it all over again. But then with new stuff added to it. And will make more sense. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hood Church. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Stay safe and peace out.